Thank you so much for staying with us. Another interview now on Antigua Barbuda today. We're speaking to Genesis Whitlock. She's a student environmentalist and she is a climate justice activist. She works for Re-Earth Initiative, which is an international youth-led NGO. We're happy to be speaking with her on this International Mother Earth Day. Good morning, Genesis, and thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very, very welcome. Now, talk to us about the Re-Earth Initiative, its mandate, and tell us how you became involved.
Okay, so Re-Earth is an international youth-led NGO. We are centered around working to make sure that everybody is included in the climate justice movement. So it's not just for people who are scientists. It's not just for people who have the privilege to skip their class or skip their job to go like to a climate justice strike. It's supposed to be for everyone. The movement to protect the earth is meant to be for everybody. So Re-Earth operates online. And we basically can run workshops. We can do social media campaigns. We also do create toolkits for anybody who has access to a computer. We translate these toolkits in numerous different languages, and we review everything to make sure that even somebody with a third grade reading level is able to understand it. Basically, what we do is making sure that everybody who wants to learn about the earth has the ability to. So our platform is online, and this year we're doing an Earth Day campaign centered around people being able to make pledges. Are you all able to hear me? I look frozen on that screen, so I'm wondering.
Yes, you are here. We are hearing you. Yes, you're coming through
Okay.
quite clearly.
Okay, cool. So yeah, this year we're doing an Earth Day campaign that is centered around if you want to get involved in the climate justice movement, you make two pledges. One individual pledge and one systemic pledge about how you want to take action this year to protect the planet.
Great. And it says, well, your description, your profile says you're an environmentalist and climate justice activist. How did that come about? Why this passion for earth and restoration?
Well, I would say it's growing up in Casada Gardens. It's being able to visit Body Pond frequently with my family. I think I've always gardening with my grandma. I hope she's watching and she feels great because I think my family, my cultural values really instilled a passion for the environment for me. And when I moved to the US, I'm here for school, I didn't have that. And I think I took the sun for granted. I took going to the beach every now and then for granted. And I started to realize that there was just lacking a lot of Black representation and specifically representation of people from the Caribbean. So I got involved in the climate justice movement. I didn't think that I was supposed to be there because I didn't have, a background in science already, and I wasn't as passionate about other people with the environment, but I needed to be there because there was so little representation. So I realized that I'd always been around the environment and I had stories to tell. So I got involved with Re-Earth, and since then I've also got involved with helping establish Climate Justice Antigua, because it's really important that other Antiguans understand that they also play a huge role in the climate justice movement and they deserve representation.
All right, we've been asking about individual and perhaps collective things that we can do on International Earth Day to make sure that we take care of our planet and we restore what has been lost. And you talked about individual and systemic pledges that can be made. What are those specific things that you want for us to do on a day like today?
Okay, so some individual ideas for today would be just getting outside, maybe meeting with one friend or two, practicing social distancing and just going on a walk to be mindful of the earth that you're living on. A more systemic thing could be addressing like a really larger issue that could affect, that's more long-term, that could affect a larger group of people. So looking into how Antigua can start recycling or different ways that we can reduce waste on a systemic level, like even an individual action could be making alternative swaps. So instead of buying soaps that have that are plastics, you could make your own soaps, or you could support a local business that in Antigua who creates soaps that uses sustainable products to make their soap. Yeah, let me think. So I think one of the largest systemic issues in Antigua that we need to address that youth can get involved in is waste reduction, and also making sure that young people understand what climate change is. Another systemic issue unfortunately, Antigua is already experienced climate injustice. Living in natural disasters, we have to understand. Thing that people could do today is thinking about who is most targeted in Antigua during a natural disaster. Building connections with those people so that the next time a natural disaster is to happen, we make sure that everybody is accounted for. Building networks with people who you don't often see anymore because of the pandemic, thinking about who's been impacted most by the pandemic. Is it small businesses? Is it people, a part of the disabled community? Making sure that you're able to build networks, because Earth Days can be a very scientific um, focus, but it really is a human focus. Protecting the people on the planet, um, is the main focus of all of this. So I would say you could try building connections today, whether it be with people or the earth, and just talking to people in your community. Um, it does the environment seem to be prioritized in your community? Is waste still a big issue? Is people people having access to food still a big issue? Yeah, I think you can just expand your thinking today, because I think everything you do in Antigua, whether you realize it or not, is related to the earth. So if you think about a community issue that's taking place, whether it be because of the pandemic or something else that's driving it, I think coming together with your community and drafting ideas about how you can address this issue on a real grassroots level is the best way to go about celebrating Earth Day today.
All right, and quickly before we go, let's talk about young people and climate justice. Well, you admitted that young people need to know more about climate change and its effects. What can we do to ensure that our young people are more involved in this thrust towards protecting the environment?
Yeah, so I would say that I'm starting a initiative in Antigua this summer called Climate Justice Antigua. It's going to be for all students starting secondary school and up, but students who aren't in secondary school yet are also more than welcome to be involved. We're just looking for students in the secondary school level to take on leadership roles and to help with keeping the organization running so it can be youth-led. Climate Justice Antigua will be, well, it currently is, but it will be operating both online and on the ground this summer. And if students want to get more involved in learning more about the environment, already utilizing what they know about the environment to then spread that information with other young people, figure out ways to get more attention for the work that we're doing in relations to climate justice, maybe sharing our stories about how we've been impacted by natural disasters and seeking, extra resources that we may need. Climate Justice Antigua will be that space for young people. So if you have any questions, if you have access to Instagram, you could search up Climate Justice Antigua, that's one word, or you can email me at genesisewhitlock@gmail.com, and I'm signing people up directly through there. And we should be having an interesting meeting within the next 2 weeks to talk about what do we know about climate justice, where do we need to fill in the gaps, and from there move forward, because it's really, really, it's time that that more young people have access to such great resources and platforms, because that's what I've been opened up to just this past year, getting involved in the climate justice movement. I've learned so much and I've grown a lot, and I think that more students in Antigua deserve those opportunities.
All right, Genesis, many thanks for joining us this morning. Our regards to your family. Thank you for sharing with us on this very important issue on a very special day. Good luck with your activism, and particularly that program that will be launched in the summer. All the best.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Happy Earth Day.
All right, to you too.